So there's a couple of settings that are new. If you pull up the settings, there's a planning tab that contains a bunch of settings. Um, and it's mostly about when you'll be reminded to plan your day. So by default, this is on weekdays at 9 and not in the weekend. It's also given to give you weekly planning reminders. Um, I've set it to Monday. I think the default is actually Friday. So you can change when space will remind you to plan. And this comes in the form of a reminder in the app itself, as you can see at the top of the screen here, but also a system notification. So even when space is not running and it's, for example, 9 a.m. on a Tuesday, I'll get a notification uh, offering to plan my day, and I can click it and I'll go into space and the daily planning will start. So now I have this reminder set up for weekly planning that's showing um, because it's the time that I configured. Um, I can just click this to start planning, but I can also hit snooze if now is not a good time. I can snooze it for a day. I can dismiss it for the whole week, so I won't be bothered about planning this week again. Uh, I will get a reminder next week. I can change the settings and I can cancel. So I just got to go ahead and go into the planning itself. And that's going to start with a review of last week, and especially the open tasks that are still open from last week. Now I have nothing open because I completed everything. I can quickly jump to that week and see all of the things that I got done, and I can jump back to my planning. I can see that I completed 19 tasks and all of my tasks for this week are done. I can see what my intention for this week was, and it's offering me to reflect on what happened. So I can write something: good work this week, got everything, got everything done. Okay. And then I can go to the next step, which is planning the week that I'm now planning. And the first thing to do there is set an intention. Now, the intention for this week will be to ship daily and weekly planning. And uh, make a plan for shipping space because I'm almost there. There's a couple of other tasks that I already had set up for this week. I can actually also go into other places. For example, I want to go to this restaurant with my son, so I can just drag this onto the planning section here, and it'll be added there. Obviously, I can also do other things like just schedule this for this week. That will also obviously put it on this list. And now another thing happened. So it's noticed that I've actually been planning a lot of stuff for this week. Um, and it's suggesting that maybe I should add some priorities or maybe I should remove some stuff here. It's a lot. So one thing I can do is to make some priorities here so I can make this important. And actually I need to add something. Finish space planning. That's also going to be a priority task. Okay, and I think now actually this looks pretty good. Even though it's a lot, I am confident that I can get this done. So I'm going to go to the next one. And this is the last step in weekly planning where basically you're being invited to put stuff on your calendar. So this restaurant, I'm actually going to do that on Wednesday. And I should make a reservation. I'll put this in the notes. And I'm going to make this reservation. This is a bit of a contrived example because I wouldn't be putting this on my calendar, to be honest, but let's just go through the motions here. I can make sure that on 9 a.m. tomorrow, I'll have a task set up to make that reservation. And so I'm going to go over the stuff that I planned for this week and see if I can already assign it to a day. That's not always possible, and that's fine. You can leave them here. And now that I'm done, I'm going to click I am done. And that will take me to this week. It's all ready. And now what you see is that space recognizes that I've planned my week, but I haven't planned tomorrow yet. I mean, it's 8 p.m. right now. And it's asking me, okay, you've finished planning this week. Now, do you actually want to plan the next day as well? Because you haven't done that yet. Um, so I'll say yes. And that takes me right into planning tomorrow, which starts with a review of today, looking at what's still open. This is what I'm recording right now. It's asking me to reflect on my day. I'm going to skip that for now. Now on the planning tab, you can see that there's some stuff that I already have set up for tomorrow, and I have some tasks for today that I didn't quite finish, so I can choose to carry those all forward. They're being added automatically to tomorrow. Um, Now on the right, you also see tasks for this whole week. You can decide to, actually this one, I'm also going to do that tomorrow. You can also even pull up some other things like your active quarterly plan. You can see what you were planning for this quarter, and you can decide, I want to do that tomorrow and drag it over. Or you can just look at your inbox. You can pull up your calendar, um, all sorts of stuff to help you figure out what is relevant tomorrow and make a really good plan for your day. Now, on the last step, schedule, is basically where, again, you'll have your list of tasks and you can take a look at if you want to put stuff on your calendar. So finish space reminders, that's going to be a big task for me tomorrow. I want to block some time. Actually, I'm going to make a large block to focus on this pretty much the whole day. That's going to be my focus for tomorrow. Yeah, pretty happy with how this looks. So I'll click done. And now I'm in this screen in tomorrow where I can see all of my tasks and my schedule. Um, you also see this little tab here that indicates whether a day or a week is planned. So this one is planned. And if I go to this week, you also see that this is also planned. But if I jump to next week, you'll see that it's blank, so it's not planned yet. And I can actually click here to immediately jump into planning that. So I'm going to go out of here now. If you think, you know what, I want to plan ahead, um, not tomorrow, but Wednesday, I want to plan that ahead of time. You can already do that. All right, and that's, I think, the gist of it. Give it a try. Tell me what you think, and good luck with planning your days and weeks.